Pivot steering telehandlers. Love them or hate them, they're a popular choice on many a farm up and down the country. We have assembled here today Weidemann, JCB, Schaefer and Dieci. All have about 75 horsepower, all have a lift capacity of about 2¼ tons and all have a reach of about 4.7 metres. So let's see how they compare. So then, the Weidemann 3080T, part of an extensive family of pivot steering telehandlers from the German manufacturer. This model in particular, very popular on UK livestock farms, either as a main machine on a smaller farm or as a support machine to a larger loader on bigger farms. First impressions of this particular machine is, well, it looks, apart from the outside, looks a really modern, smart machine. However, on the inside, it's a little cramped. The cab, you can get an option of a taller cab, however you are then making the overall machine height taller, which on a compact machine that's something you're trying to avoid. Negative points then, well, one of the major points is the slightly cramped cab, especially compared to the other four machines. If you're a tall operator like me, you will end up rubbing your head on the roof. However, that just kind of goes to show how much better use of space the other manufacturers make of their machines, especially the Schaefer, which has the same overall height as this machine. However, it's a deeper cab, so you do get more space. One of the other slight downsides of the low roof is impeded rear view visibility. It really doesn't help with this window wiper motor right behind your head. So here we have Dieci's T60 AgriPivot, part of a 6 model family from the Italian firm. Dieci, although they've been making telehandlers for a very, very long time, they've only really recently just gotten into pivot steer telehandlers, only about 2 years ago. And in terms of machine performance, yeah, it's fairly up there, but it just doesn't quite deliver it in the smooth way the other 3 machines do, and especially compared to the, you know, the Weidemann and Schaefer, which are really made for this job. One of our biggest gripes with this particular machine is to do with the transmission. Now, all of the 4 machines use a 2-stage hydrostatic transmission, and 3 of them, not this one, you can change that range or stage on the go just by the flick of a switch. Does it quite seamlessly. However, on this machine, for some reason, you have to stop and then change range. Now, one of the main things we don't like about the Dieci is its fit and finish. It's a little bit rough around the edges and a little bit plasticky, as you can see. All this edge work, it's really sharp, and when you lift the bonnet it really shows, because you've got to get your fingers around the sharp edge there. There's no gas struts or anything, it's just a big floppy fiberglass mess. Here we have JCB's TM220, part of a 4 model pivot steering telehandler range from the British manufacturer. The only problem is, with such a big cab and all the comfort that comes with it, in terms of visibility, it's not too bad. I mean, it should be pretty decent because you're sat high up on a perch. Think of the JCB. Well, one of its plus points is definitely got to be cab comfort. It's really tall, really roomy, you can stretch out, and it's just a really good place to spend a day working. However, that does come at a cost, because the cab is so tall. It is quite clearly one of the tallest machines out of the 4 tested, which also means in some of the buildings you can't actually get in with it, so it's not a true compact machine, unfortunately. Recently launched at this year's LAMA, this is the 6680T from Schaefer, a brand new machine and effectively replaces the old 6390T from the German manufacturer. Like the Weidemann, Schaefer are a specialist in building this type of machine. Schaefer also claimed this is one of the most hand-built machines out of the 4 here tested. Whether that's a good point or a bad point remains to be seen. A very popular machine in this class, especially on the continent and in the UK. First impressions, jump in the cab, yeah, ample space. And I say ample space because it's not too wide, it's not too tall, but it's just about spot on. You get lots of visibility, pretty much all around, over the back end, around the front end, pretty decent above as well, for when you're reaching high up with bales or whatever, stacking. Layout, pretty simple. very intuitive. Again, like the Weidemann, main controls are attached to the chair, which means they do move up and down with you, which is good. In and out of old and twisty buildings. Yeah, it's proved itself to be pretty good. Very nimble. Transmission and engine, they're just such smooth operators. An inching pedal combined with a brake pedal combo, essentially, which is really good because it gives you lots of feel of the transmission and lots of control. Really good, especially if you're doing really fine stuff like stacking pallets or something like that. But as you can see about the turning circle, it's a seriously nimble machine, really made for the job. Schaefers really know what they're doing when it comes to these types of machines for this job. It is such a smooth operator, especially in terms of the transmission and hydraulics. They're both really responsive as well. Really agile, brilliant in and out of tight spaces around this yard. The cab makes good use of space. It is a really well packaged machine, especially when you compare it to the other three. So then, after a week of mucking out, feeding, bedding, handling straw and various other materials, what do we make of these four machines here? And more importantly, how do they compare against each other and which one is our favourite? But before that, it has to be said, each machine is a very strong contender with subtle differences setting them apart from each other. As ever, dealership backup, residual values and a good deal, they'll always go a long way in deciding which machine to choose. However, on this occasion, we have gone for Schaefer as our favourite machine out of these four. With extremely user-friendly transmission and hydraulics, along with a well-proportioned cab which fits in with its compact credentials, it soon became apparent why the Schaefer was our machine of choice. Coming in a very, very close second to the Schaefer has got to be Weidemann. In third place, we have gone for the JCB. Finally, in last place, and by no means least, we have the Dieci.